Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping of the People's Republic of China, Your Excellencies, heads of state, heads of government, and heads of international organizations, ministers, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, friends. On behalf of the Chinese government, I'd like to extend our warm welcome and sincere appreciation to the distinguished guests attending the Belton Road Forum for International Cooperation. In autumn 2013, President Xi Jinping proposed the Belt and Road Initiative, which has since been warmly received and supported by the international community. Thanks to the concerted efforts, the Belt and Road Initiative is advancing steadily. Guided by the principles of extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits, it is working to promote connectivity of policy, infrastructure, trade, finance, and among peoples. It has made positive contribution to the economic growth of the world and common development of various countries. Earlier this year, President Xi Jinping, when attending the World Economic Forum, announced that the Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation will be held, which is designed to discuss cooperation, build platform for cooperation, and share the benefit of cooperation, so that the Belt and Road Initiative will deliver greater benefits to people across the world. Today, representing 5 continents, over 100 countries, over 70 international organizations, and over 1,000 delegates are gathered in Beijing to offer their wisdom and input to the Belt and Road Initiative. Now, let's warmly welcome His Excellency President Xi Jinping to deliver his keynote speech. Distinguished heads of state and heads of government, ministers, heads of international organizations, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. In this lovely season of early summer, when every living thing is full of energy, I wish to welcome all of you, distinguished guests representing over 100 countries, to attend this important forum on the Belt and Road Initiative held in Beijing. This is indeed a gathering of great minds. In the coming 2 days, I hope that by engaging in full discussion of exchange of views, we will contribute to pursuing the Belt and Road Initiative, a project of the century, so that it will bring benefit to people across the world. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, over 2,000 years ago, our ancestors, trekking across vast steppes and deserts, opened the transcontinental passage connecting Asia, Europe, and Africa, known today as the Silk Road. Our ancestors, navigating rough waters, created sea routes linking the East with the West, namely the maritime Silk Road. These ancient Silk routes opened windows of friendly exchanges among nations, adding a splendid chapter to the history of human progress. The 1,000-year-old gilded bronze silkworm displayed at China's Shanxi History Museum and the Belton shipwreck discovered in Indonesia bear witness to this exciting period of history. Spanning thousands of miles and thousands of years, the ancient Silk routes embodied the spirit of peace and cooperation, openness and inclusiveness, mutual learning, and mutual benefit. The Silk Road spirit has become a great heritage of human civilization. Peace and cooperation. In China's Han Dynasty, around 140 BC, Zhang Qian, a royal emissary, left Chang'an, capital of the Han Dynasty. He traveled westward on a mission of peace and opened an overland route linking the East and the West, a daring undertaking which came to be known as Zhang Qian's journey to the western regions. Centuries later, in the years of Tang, Song, and Yuan dynasties, such routes, both over land and sea, had boomed. Great adventurers, including Du Huan of China, Marco Polo of Italy, and Ibn Battuta of Morocco, left their footprints along these ancient routes. In the early 15th century, Zheng He, the famous Chinese navigator in the Ming Dynasty, made 7 voyages to the western seas, a feat which is still remembered today. These pioneers won their place in history not as conquerors with warships, guns, or swords. Rather, they are remembered as friendly emissaries leading camel caravans and sailing treasure-loaded ships. Generation after generation, the Silk Road's travelers have built a bridge for peace and for East-West cooperation. Openness and inclusiveness. The ancient Silk routes spanned the valleys of the Nile, the Tigris and Euphrates, the Indus and Ganges, and the Yellow and Yangtze rivers. They connected the birthplaces of the Egyptian, Babylonian, Indian, and Chinese civilizations. They connected the lands of Buddhism, Christianity, and Islam, as well as homes of people of different nationalities and races. These routes enabled people of various civilizations, religions, and race to interact with and embrace each other with open minds. In the course of exchange, they fostered a spirit of mutual respect and engaged in a common endeavor to pursue prosperity. Today, ancient cities of Jiuquan, Dunhuang, Tulufan, Samarkand, Baghdad, and Constantinople, and ancient seaports of Ningbo, Quanzhou, Guangzhou, Beihai, Colombo, Jeddah, and Alexandria are standing as the living monuments to these past interactions. This part of history shows that civilization thrives with openness and nations prosper through exchange. Mutual learning. The ancient Silk routes were not for trade only. They boosted flow of knowledge as well. Through these routes, Chinese silk, porcelain, lacquer work, and ironware were shipped to the West, while pepper, flax, spices, grape, and pomegranate entered China. Through these routes, Buddhism, Islam, and Arab astronomy, calendar, and medicine found their way to China, while China's four great inventions and silkworm breeding spread to other parts of the world. More importantly, the exchange of goods and know-how spurred new ideas. For example, Buddhism originated in India. It blossomed in China and was enriched in Southeast Asia. Confucianism, which was born in China, gained appreciation by European thinkers such as Leibniz and Voltaire. Herein lies the appeal of mutual learning, mutual benefit. The ancient Silk routes witnessed the bustling scenes of visits and trade over land, and the bustling scenes of ships calling at ports. Along these major arteries of interaction, capital, technology, and people flowed freely, and goods, resources, and benefits were widely shared. The ancient prosperous cities of Almaty, Samarkand, and Chang'an, and ports of Sur and Guangzhou had thrived. So did the Roman Empire, as well as Parthia and Kushan kingdoms. The Han and Tang dynasties of China entered the Golden Age. The ancient Silk routes brought prosperity to these regions and boosted their development. History is our best teacher. The glory of the ancient Silk routes shows that geographical distance is not insurmountable. If we take the first courageous step toward each other, we can embark on a path leading to friendship, shared benefit, peace, harmony, and a better future. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, from the historical perspective, humankind has reached an age of great progress, great transformation, and profound changes. In this increasingly multipolar, economically globalized, digitized, and culturally diversified world, the trend toward peace and development becomes stronger, and reform and innovation are gaining momentum. Never have we seen such close interdependence among countries as today, such fervent desire of people for a better life, and never have we had so many means to prevail over difficulties. In terms of reality, we found ourselves in a world fraught with challenges. Global growth requires new drivers. Development needs to be more inclusive and balanced. and the gap between the rich and the poor needs to be narrowed. Hotspots in some regions are causing instability, and terrorism is rampant. Deficit in peace, development, and governance poses a daunting challenge to mankind. This is the issue that has always been on my mind. In the autumn of 2013, respectively in Kazakhstan and Indonesia, I proposed the building of the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road, which I call the Belt and Road Initiative. As a Chinese saying goes, peaches and plums do not speak, but they are so attractive that a path is formed below the trees. 4 years on, over 100 countries and international organizations have supported and got involved in this initiative. Important resolutions passed by the UN General Assembly and Security Council contain reference to it. Thanks to our efforts, the vision of the Belt and Road Initiative is becoming a reality and is bearing rich fruit. These 4 years have seen deepened policy connectivity. I've said on many occasions that the pursuit of the Belt and Road Initiative is not meant to reinvent the wheel. Rather, it aims to complement the development strategies of countries involved by leveraging their comparative strengths. We have enhanced coordination with the policy initiatives of relevant countries, such as the Eurasian Economic Union of Russia, the Master Plan on ASEAN Connectivity, the Bright Road Initiative of Kazakhstan, the Middle Corridor Initiative of Turkey, the Development Road Initiative of Mongolia, the Two Corridors, One Economic Circle Initiative of Vietnam, the Northern Powerhouse Initiative of the UK, and the Amber Road Initiative of Poland. We are also promoting complementarity between China's development plan and those of Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, Hungary, and other countries. China has signed cooperation agreements with over 40 countries and international organizations and carried out framework cooperation on production capacity with more than 30 countries. During this forum, a number of cooperation agreements on policy connectivity and action plans will be signed. We'll also launch Belt and Road Cooperation Initiative on trade connectivity, together with some 60 countries and international organizations. Such policy connectivity will produce a multiplying effect on cooperation among the parties involved. These 4 years have seen enhanced infrastructure connectivity. Building roads and railways creates prosperity in all sectors. We have accelerated the building of Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway, China-Laos railway, Addis Ababa-Djibouti railway, and Hungary-Serbia railway, and also upgraded Gwadar and Piraeus ports in cooperation with relevant countries. A large number of connectivity projects are also in the pipeline. Today, a multilateral, multidimensional infrastructure network is taking shape one that is underpinned by economic corridors such as China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, China-Mongolia-Russia Economic Corridor, and the new Eurasian Continental Bridge, featuring land, sea, air transportation routes and information expressway, and supported by major railway, port, and pipeline projects. These 4 years have seen increased trade connectivity. China has worked with other countries involved in the Belt and Road Initiative to promote trade and investment facilitation and improve business environment. I was told that for Kazakhstan and other Central Asian countries alone, customs clearance time for agricultural produce exporting to China is cut by 90%. Total trade between China and other Belt and Road countries between 2014 and 2016 has exceeded $3 trillion. And China's investment in these countries has surpassed $50 billion. Chinese companies have set up 56 economic cooperation zones in over 20 countries, generating some $1.1 billion of tax revenue and 180,000 jobs for those countries. These 4 years have seen expanded financial connectivity. Financing bottleneck is a key challenge to realizing connectivity. China has engaged in multiple forms of financial cooperation with countries and organizations involved in the Belt and Road Initiative. The Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank has provided $1.7 billion of loans for 9 projects in participating countries. The Silk Road Fund has made $4 billion of investment, and the 16+1 financial holding company between China and Central and Eastern European countries has been inaugurated. With distinctive focus, these new financial mechanisms and traditional multilateral financial institutions, such as the World Bank, complement each other. A multi-tiered Belt and Road financial cooperation network has taken an initial shape. These 4 years have seen strengthened people-to-people connectivity. Friendship, which derives from close contact between the people, holds the key to sound state-to-state relations. Guided by the Silk Road spirit, we, the Belt and Road Initiative participating countries, have pooled our efforts to build an educational Silk Road and health Silk Road, and carried out cooperation in science, education, culture, health, and people-to-people exchange. Such cooperation has helped lay a solid popular and social foundation for pursuing the Belt and Road Initiative. Every year, the Chinese government provides 10,000 government scholarships to relevant countries. China's local governments have also set up special Silk Road scholarships to encourage international cultural and educational exchanges. Projects of people-to-people cooperation such as Silk Road Culture Year, Tourism Year, Art Festival, Film and TV Project, Seminar, and Think Tank Dialogue are flourishing. These interactions have brought our people increasingly closer. These fruitful outcomes show that the Belt and Road Initiative responds to the trend of the times, conforms to the law of development, and meets the people's interests. It surely has broad prospects.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, As we often say in China, the beginning is the most difficult part. A solid first step has been taken in pursuing the Belt and Road Initiative. We should build on the sound momentum generated to steer the Belt and Road Initiative toward greater success. In pursuing this endeavor, we should be guided by the following principles. First, we should build the Belt and Road into a road for peace. The ancient Silk Routes thrived in times of peace, but lost vigor in times of war. The pursuit of the Belt and Road Initiative requires a peaceful and a stable environment. We should foster a new type of international relations featuring win-win cooperation. And we should forge partnership of dialogue with no confrontation and partnership of friendship rather than alliance. All countries should respect each other's sovereignty, dignity, and territorial integrity, respect each other's development path and social systems, and respect each other's core interests and major concerns. Some regions along the ancient Silk Road used to be a land of milk and honey. Yet today, these places are often associated with conflict, turbulence, crisis, and challenge. Such state affairs should not be allowed to continue. We should foster the vision of common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security, and create a security environment built and shared by all. We should work to resolve hotspot issues through political means and promote mediation in the spirit of justice. We should intensify counterterrorism efforts, address both its symptoms and root causes, and strive to eradicate poverty, backwardness, and social injustice. Second, we should build the Belt and Road into a road of prosperity. Development poses the master key to solving all problems. In pursuing the Belt and Road Initiative, we should focus on the fundamental issue of development, release the growth potential of various countries, and achieve economic integration and interconnected development, and deliver benefits to all. Industries are the foundation of economy. We should deepen industrial cooperation so that industrial development plans of different countries will complement and reinforce each other. Focus should be put on launching major projects. We should strengthen international cooperation on production capacity and equipment manufacturing and seize new development opportunities presented by the new industrial revolution to foster new businesses and maintain dynamic growth. Finance is the lifeblood of modern economy. Only when the blood circulates smoothly can one grow. We should establish a stable and a sustainable financial safeguard system that keeps risks under control, create new models of investment and financing, encourage greater cooperation between government and private capital, and build a diversified financing system and a multi-tiered capital market. We should also develop inclusive finance and improve financial services networks. Infrastructure connectivity is the foundation of development through cooperation. We should promote land, maritime, air, and cyberspace connectivity. Concentrate our efforts on key passageways, cities, and projects, and connect networks of highways, railways, and seaports. The goal of building 6 major economic corridors under the Belt and Road Initiative has been set, and we should endeavor to meet it. We need to seize opportunities presented by the new round of change in energy mix and the revolution in energy technologies to develop global energy interconnection and achieve green and low-carbon development. We should improve trans-regional logistics network and promote connectivity of policies, rules, and standards so as to provide institutional safeguards for enhancing connectivity. Third, we should build the Belt and Road into a road of opening up. Opening up brings progress, while isolation results in backwardness. For a country, opening up is like the struggle of a chrysalis breaking free from its cocoon. There will be short-term pains, but such pains will create a new life. The Belt and Road Initiative should be a noble one that will achieve both economic growth and balanced development. We should build an open platform of cooperation and uphold and grow an open world economy. We should jointly create an environment that will facilitate opening up and development, establish a fair, equitable, and transparent system of international trade and investment rules, and boost the orderly flow of production factors, efficient resources allocation, and a full market integration. We welcome efforts made by other countries to grow open economies based on their national conditions, participate in global governance, and provide public goods. Together, we can build a broad community of shared interests. Trade is an important engine driving growth. We should embrace the outside world with an open mind, uphold the multilateral trading regime, advance the building of free trade areas, and promote liberalization and the facilitation of trade and investment. Of course, we should also focus on resolving issues such as imbalances in development, difficulties in governance, digital divide, and income disparity. And we should make economic globalization open, inclusive, balanced, and beneficial to all. Fourth, we should build the Belt and Road into a road of innovation. Innovation is an important force in powering development. The Belt and Road Initiative is new by nature, and we need to encourage innovation in pursuing this initiative. We should pursue innovation-driven development and intensify cooperation in frontier areas such as digital economy, artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and quantum computing, and advance the development of big data, cloud computing, and smart cities, so as to turn them into a digital Silk Road of the 21st century. We should spur the full integration of science and technology into industries and finance, improve the environment for innovation, and pool resources for innovation. We should create space and build workshops for young people of various countries to cultivate entrepreneurship in this age of the Internet and help realize their dreams. We should pursue the new vision of green development and promote a way of life and work that is green, low-carbon, circular, and sustainable. Efforts should be made to strengthen cooperation in ecological and environmental protection and build a sound ecosystem so as to realize the goals set by the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Fifth, we should build the Belton Road into a road connecting different civilizations. In pursuing the Belt and Road Initiative, we should ensure that when it comes to different civilizations, exchange will replace estrangement, mutual learning will replace clashes, and coexistence will replace a sense of superiority. This will boost mutual understanding, mutual respect, and mutual trust among different countries. We should establish a multi-tiered mechanism for cultural and people-to-people exchanges, build more cooperation platforms, and open more cooperation channels. Educational cooperation should be boosted, more exchange students should be encouraged, and the performance of cooperatively run schools should be enhanced. Think tanks should play a better role, and efforts should be made to establish think tank networks and partnerships. In the cultural, sports, and health sectors, new cooperation models should be created to facilitate projects with concrete benefits. Historical and cultural heritage should be fully tapped to jointly develop tourist products and protect heritage in ways that preserve the distinctive features of the Silk Road. We should strengthen exchanges between parliaments, political parties, and non-governmental organizations of different countries, as well as between women, youth, and people with disabilities, with a view to achieving inclusive development. We should also strengthen international counter-corruption cooperation so that the Belt and Road will be a road with high ethical standards. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, China has reached a new starting point in its development endeavors, guided by the vision of innovative, coordinated, green, open, and inclusive development. We will adapt to and steer the new normal of economic development and seize the opportunities it presents. We will actively promote supply-side structural reform to achieve sustainable development, inject strong impetus into the Belt and Road Initiative, and create new opportunities for global development. China will enhance friendship and cooperation with all countries involved in the Belt and Road Initiative on the basis of the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence. We are ready to share experience of development with other countries. But we have no intention to interfere in other countries' internal affairs, export our own social system and model of development, or impose our own will on others. In pursuing the Belt and Road Initiative, we will not resort to outdated geopolitical maneuvering. What we hope to achieve is a new model of win-win cooperation. We have no intention to form a small group detrimental to stability. What we hope to create is a big family of harmonious coexistence. China has reached practical cooperation agreements with many countries on pursuing the Belt and Road Initiative. These agreements cover not only projects of hardware connectivity like transport, infrastructure, and energy, but also software connectivity involving telecommunications, customs, and quarantine inspection. The agreements also include plans and projects for cooperation in economy and trade, industry, e-commerce, marine and green economy. The Chinese railway authorities will sign agreements with their counterparts of related countries to to deepen cooperation on
我们将推动
China-Europe
这些合作项
regular
目
railway
早日
cargo
启动
service. We will work to
早见
launch
成
these
效
cooperation projects at an early date and see that they deliver early benefits.
中国将加大
China
对
will scale up
一带一路
financing
建设资
support
金的支持
for，the Belt and Road Initiative by
向
contributing
丝路基金
an
新增资
additional
金1000亿人民币，
100 billion RMB to the Silk Road Fund.
鼓励金融机构开
And
展
we
人民
encourage
币海
financial
外基金
institutions
业务，
to conduct overseas
规模
RMB fund
预
business
计约3000亿元人民
with an
币。
estimated amount of about 300 billion RMB.
中国国家开发
The
银行、
China Development
进
Bank
出口银
and
行
the Export-Import Bank of China
将分别提供
will set up
2500
special
亿元
lending
和
schemes
1300亿
respectively
元
worth
等值人民币，
250 billion
专项
RMB
贷款
equivalent and 130 billion RMB equivalent to support Belt and Road cooperation on infrastructure, industrial capacity and financing.
我们还将
We
同
will also work
亚洲基
with
础
the
设施投资银
AIIB,
行、金砖
the
银
BRICS
行等
New Development Bank,
新开发
the World Bank
金砖国家新开发银行、世界银行
and other
及其他的多边开发
multilateral
机构
development institutions
合作支持
to
一带一路
support
项目，
Belt and Road related
同有
projects.
关各方
We
共
will
同制
work
定
with other parties
一带一
concerned
路
to
融
jointly
资
formulate
指导原则。
guidelines for financing the Belt and Road related development projects.
中国将积极同“一带一路”
China
建
will
设参
endeavor
与国发展
to
互利
build
共
a
赢的
win-win
经贸伙伴
business
关系，
partnership
促
with
进
other countries participating in the
同各
Belt and
相
Road
关国家
Initiative,
贸易和投
enhance
资便利
trade
化
and investment
建
facilitation
设
with
“一
them,
带一路
and build
自由
a
贸易
Belt and
网
Road
络，
free trade network.
助力地区和
These
世界经
efforts
济
are
增长。
designed to promote growth both in our
本届
respective
论
regions
坛期
and
间，
globally. During the forum,
中国
China
将
will
同30多个国
sign
家
business and trade cooperation
签署
agreements with
经
over 30
贸合作协
countries
议，同有关国家
and
协商
enter into
自由
consultation
贸易协
on
定。
free trade agreements with related countries.
中国将从2018年起
China will host
举办
the
国际进口博
China
览会。
International Import-Expo starting from 2018.
中国愿同各国加强
China
创
will
新合作
enhance cooperation on innovation with
启动
other
一带一路
countries. We will
科技
launch
创
the
新
Belt
行
and
动
Road
计划
Science, Technology and
开展
Innovation
科技人文
Cooperation
交流
Action Plan, which
共建
consists
联
of
合
the
实
Science
验
and
室
Technology People-to-People Exchange
科技园
Initiative,
区
the
合作
Joint Laboratory
技术
Initiative,
转移
the Science Park
四项行
Cooperation
动
Initiative, and the Technology
我
Transfer
们将在
Initiative.
未来的5年内
In the coming 5 years,
安排
we will offer
2500人次
2,500
青年
short-term
科学
research
家
visits to
来华
China
从事
for young
短期科
foreign
研工作，
scientists,
培训5000人
train
次
5,000 foreign
科学技
scientists,
术
engineers,
和管理人
and
员，
managers,
投入运行
and
50
set
家
up
联合实验室。
50 joint laboratories.
我们将设立
We will set up
生态环保大数
a
据
big
服务
data
平台，
service platform on ecological and
倡
environmental
议建立
protection.
“一带一路
We propose the
绿色发
establishment
展国
of
际
an
联盟
international coalition
并
for
为
green
相关
development
国家
on the Belt
应
and
对
Road,
气候变
and we will
化
provide support
提
to
供
related
援助。
countries in adapting to climate change.
中国将在未来5年向参与“一带一路”建设的
In
发
the
展中
coming
国家
3
和
years,
国际组织
China will provide
提供
assistance
600亿
worth 60 billion
人民
RMB
币
to
援助，
developing countries and
建设
international
更多的
organizations
民生项目。
participating in the Belt and Road Initiative
我们
to
将
launch
向“一
more
带一路”
projects to
沿
improve
线
people's
发展中
well-being.
国家
We will provide emergency
20亿元
food
人民币
aid worth 2 billion
紧急
RMB
粮
to
食援
developing countries along the Belt and Road
向南南
and
合
make
作
an
援助
additional contribution
基金
of
增资10亿美
$1
元，
billion to the assistance fund
在
for
沿线
South-South
国家
cooperation.
实施100个幸
China
福
will
家园
launch 100 happy home
，100
projects,
个爱心助攻，
100 poverty alleviation
100个
projects,
康复助
and
益。
100 healthcare and rehabilitation projects in countries along
我
the Belt
们
and
将
Road.
向有关国际
China
组
will
织提
provide
供
relevant
10亿美元
international
落实一批
organizations with
惠
$1 billion
及沿线国
to
家的
implement cooperation
合作
projects
项目。
that will benefit the countries along the Belt and Road.
中国将设立“一带一路”
China capacity building
能力
center.
建设中心。我们将建设
We will also
丝绸之路沿线
develop
民间组
a
织
network
合
for
作网
cooperation
络，
among the NGOs in
打
countries
造
along
新
the
闻合
Belton
作
Road,
联盟，教育
as well as new
音乐教育
people-to-people exchange platforms
其他
such as a Belton
人文
Road
合作
News
的新
Alliance
平台。
and a Music Education Alliance.
一带一路建设植根于
The
丝绸之
Belton
路
Road
的历史
initiative
土
is
壤，
rooted in the
重
ancient
点
Silk Road.
面向
It focuses
亚
on
欧
the
非大
Asian,
陆，
European, and
同
African
时向所
continents,
有朋友
but
开放，
it is also open to all other countries.
不论来自亚洲、
All countries
欧洲
from either Asia,
还是
Europe,
非洲、
Africa,
美洲，
or the Americas,
都是一带一路建设
they are
国际
all
合作的伙
international
伴。
cooperation partners of the Belt and Road
一带一路建
initiative.
设将由
The
大家共
pursuit
同商
of
量，
this initiative is based
一带
on
一路
extensive
建设成果
consultation, and its
将由大
benefits
家共同
will be
分享。
shared by us all.
女士们、先生们、朋友
Ladies
们
and gentlemen, dear friends,
中国古语
a
讲
nation Chinese saying goes,
不积跬
a
步，
long journey
无以至
can be
千里
covered only by taking one step at a time.
阿拉伯谚语说，
Similarly, there is an Arab proverb
金
which
字
says
塔
that the
是一
pyramid
块块石
was
头垒
built
成
by
的。
piling one stone on another.
欧洲
In
也有
Europe,
句话，
there's also the saying,
伟业
that
非一日之功。
Rome wasn't built in a day.
一带一路建设
The
是
Belt and
伟
Road
大的事
initiative
业，
is a great
需
undertaking
要伟
which
大的
requires
实践，
dedicated efforts.
让我们
Let us
一步一个脚印，
pursue this initiative
推
step
进
by
实
step
施，
and deliver
一点一
outcome
滴
one by
抓住
one.
成果，造福
By
世界。
doing so, we will bring
造福
true benefit to
人民。
both the world and all our people.
祝本次
In conclusion,
高峰
I
论
wish the Belt
坛
and Road Forum for
圆满
International
成功。
Cooperation a full
谢谢大家。
success. Thank you. Thank you, President Xi
主
Jinping,
旨演讲。
for the keynote speech.
刚才
Just now,
习近平主
President
席
Xi Jinping
全面的、
expounded
深刻的解
on
释
the
了丝绸之路
essence of the
精
Silk Road
神的
spirit
内涵，从应对
and
全球性
illustrated
挑战的高
the
度，
importance
阐述了
of the
一
Belt
带
and
一
Road
路
initiative
建设
in the
的
context of
时
global
代
challenges,
意义。在总结
while taking
合作
stock
成果
of the
的
outcomes
基础
of
上，
cooperation already delivered,
就拓展合
we
作的
put
领
forward
域，
important proposals
提升 合
and
作的
suggestions
城
on
市，
expanding and
扩
upgrading
大
cooperation
合作的
for
成果，
even bigger
提
progress.
出了重要的主张和建议，对推进
These
一带一
important
路
opinions
建设国
will
际
be
合作
instrumental in
具有
promoting
重大的
international
指
cooperation
导意义。
on Belt and Road.
下面，我们热烈欢迎俄罗斯总
Next,
统
let's warmly
普
welcome
京支
President
持
Putin of Russia to deliver a speech.
Уважаемый господин председатель Си Цзиньпинь,
President Xi,
уважаемые главы государств, правительств,
heads of states,
коллеги, дамы и
governments,
господа.
colleagues, ladies and
Для меня
gentlemen,
большая честь
it is a great honor for me
принять участие в церемонии открытия
participate in the
международного
opening
форума
ceremony
«Один
of
пояс,
the
один путь».
One Belt, One Road International
О планах
Forum.
провести столь представительное мероприятие
Mr. Xi informed me about his plans to hold this representative event back in September last year at the Russian-Chinese summit in Hangzhou, and we certainly lend our support to this enterprise from the very beginning. This idea had been brought up even before that. Certainly, this gives us an opportunity to talk in a broad format about the future of the vast Eurasian continent. Our continent is the birthplace of great civilizations. Peoples with different cultures and traditions have lived side by side for centuries. They've been trading, whereas the legendary Silk Road, which linked almost all of Eurasia, as is well known, went from one oasis to another oasis, from one world to another. And in the great Chinese I Ching, the book of change with its colorful, bright imagery, the well symbolizes a spring of life force underlying human communication. It gives birth to trust, fosters ties and connections, as well as friendship. This historical experience of cooperation as well as human understanding is of import to us in the 21st century, when the world is faced with very serious challenges and problems. Many models and factors of economic growth of old have been all but exhausted. Many countries are witnessing a crisis of the social welfare state concept which emerged in the 20th century. As of now, it is barely capable of maintaining at the same level the welfare, let alone ensuring a sustainable growth of welfare. It is apparent that the global economic and technological space risks being fragmented, protectionism is becoming the new normal, whereas its latent manifestations take the form of illegal sanctions, including restrictions on the spread and supply of technologies. The ideas of openness and free trade are increasingly often being rejected, very often by those who but recently served as the exponents of these ideas. The imbalances in the social and economic development, the crisis of the old model of globalization, all of this results in negative consequences for relations among states as well as for international security, poverty, social chaos, a colossal gap and the developmental level of countries and regions. All this creates a breeding ground for international terrorism, extremism, as well as irregular migration. We shall not be able to live up to these challenges should we fail to overcome a stagnation of the global economic development, nor should we forget about the threats that emanate from regional conflicts, from the confrontation zones that persist in many places throughout Eurasia. In order to untie these knots, as it were, first and foremost, it is necessary to abandon the belligerent rhetoric, mutual recriminations and reproaches, which serve only to aggravate the situation. On the whole, it is hardly possible to resolve any of the issues of today following the old logic. What we need is ideas that are fresh and free of stereotypes. I am confident that Eurasia is able to elaborate, come up with a substantive positive agenda. I refer in particular to ensuring security, building ties between countries, organizing the economy, the social sphere, the governance system. I refer to finding new engines of growth. We should demonstrate to the world community an example of using an innovative approach to building future based on equality, equal rights, justice, respect for national sovereignty, international right, as well as the inviolable principles of the United Nations. And yet, to implement such an agenda, wish and will alone are not sufficient. What we need is actual instruments of such cooperation, and it is as a form of integration that we can build these instruments. Eurasia is witnessing the active development of many integration associations. We support them and we are interested in the successful advancement of these projects. Many are aware that Russia, together with its partners, is building the Eurasian Economic Union. We in the Eurasian Economic Union have similar approaches to building the Eurasian integration, and it is very important for us that the leaders of Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan take part in this forum. We salute China's large-scale initiative of One Belt, One Road and putting this initiative forward. President Xi has demonstrated an example of an innovative approach to developing integration in energy, infrastructure, transport, industry, as well as the humanitarian field, which we have heard in detail right now. I believe that adding up the potential of such integration formats as the Eurasian Economic Union, One Belt, One Road, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, ASEAN, can lay the groundwork for building a greater Eurasian partnership. It is exactly this approach that we believe we can view the agenda put forward by the People's Republic of China today. We would also salute the participation of our European colleagues in such a partnership, the European Union. In this case, it would turn into a harmonic, balanced and comprehensive partnership, will help us seize the unique opportunity of building a single space of cooperation from the Atlantic to the Pacific for the first time in history. Colleagues, even now, it is important to add concrete actions to the strategy for developing the greater Eurasian partnership. We can, for instance, set forth the ambitious goals of making the movement of goods in the Eurasian space very fast. Right now, President Xi has been telling us about slashing the bureaucracy and the movement of goods between Kazakhstan and China. We see the same thing happening in different dimensions. Certainly, if administrative costs are brought down, if logistics technologies are cutting edge, it is going to facilitate our work. We can also use the experience of the WTO, which is very precious and valuable. Let me remind you that in February 2017, the WTO trade facilitation agreement entered into force. We should certainly build upon the provisions of this agreement and even draft an even more advanced Eurasian agreement on trade facilitation. Let me highlight that Russia is not just willing to trade, we're willing to invest into building in our partners joint ventures as well as new enterprises. We are willing to invest into industrial assembly, into retail and maintenance services. It is important that our entrepreneurs should earn together, should succeed together, should set up competitive technological and industrial alliances together. But in order for this cooperation to be efficient, we should move towards unifying and, in future, towards building up uniform standards as well as technical regulations, both for traditional, industrial and agricultural goods and new high-technology produce. We should also remove infrastructural obstacles in the way of integration. We should build up the systems of modern transportation corridors that are linked together. Given Russia's unique geographical position, we are willing to engage in such kinds of work. We are consistently modernizing our sea, railway and automobile infrastructure. We increase the throughput capacity of the Baikal, Amur and the Trans-Siberian railroads, as well as invest considerable resources into the Northern Sea route in order to turn it into a globally competitive transportation corridor. If we have a look at the broader picture, the infrastructural projects announced as part of the Eurasian Economic Union as well as the One Belt, One Road initiatives, together with the Northern Sea route, are able to set up a new transportation configuration of the Eurasian continent. And this is key to explore new territories, to resuscitate economic and investment activities. Let us build these roads of prosperity and development together in order to implement the large-scale projects in infrastructure, in energy and transport and cutting-edge high technology. We shall certainly require enormous private investment. That is why it is important to put in place predictable, convenient, comfortable and well understood conditions for investors to foster an exchange of best practices. For instance, we have been using the experience of the Asia-Pacific countries and setting up preferential conditions for investors and the advanced development territories in the Russian Far East. And the private investor is also going to benefit from the newly established institutions such as the New Development Bank of BRICS and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. Certainly, high-quality integration is only possible if we have such a groundwork as a good human capital, well-qualified personnel, technological and scientific basis. In order to have this groundwork, we suggest we should work together in educational platforms and strengthening the cooperation of universities and business schools. I would like to invite our partners to get back to work together in fundamental science. I refer in particular to the possibility of building large-scale international research facilities and laboratories for joint use. Colleagues, it is evident that the ideas and the initiatives of this forum's participants shall require further discussion. And we certainly are willing to participate in this kind of discussions. Let me invite the participants, the representatives of business circles, the civil society, politicians, to visit Russia in June this year as part of the St. Petersburg Economic Forum and to visit Russia in September as well to assist the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok. In conclusion, let me highlight Russia believes that the future of Eurasian partnership is not just about fostering new ties between countries and economies. It should change the very political and economic landscape of the continent, bringing Eurasia peace, stability, prosperity, as well as a brand new quality of life. Our citizens require well-understood things such as security, being able to be confident of the day to come, the possibility to work and to increase their welfare, the welfare of their families. And we owe it to them to secure these opportunities for them. And in these terms, Greater Eurasia is not just an abstract geopolitical scheme. Without exaggeration, it is indeed a civilizational project which is bringing about future, and I'm confident that following the logic of cooperation we shall implement it. I believe there are grounds to thank President Xi for this initiative, which is very timely and which is very promising. Thank you for attention, and let me wish success to all of you in our joint efforts. Thank you.
Thank you,
President Putin, for the speech. President Putin has introduced the views and measures of Russia in promoting regional and global economy, and also put forward very useful suggestions on promoting international cooperation on Belton Road. And all these ideas can be further explored and discussed. Now let's warmly welcome President of Turkey, Erdogan, to deliver a speech.
Sayın Başkan Xi, Sayın
Esteemed
Devlet ve
President
Hükümet Başkanları,
Xi,
değerli
distinguished
katılımcılar,
heads of states and governments,
sizleri sevgiyle,
esteemed
saygıyla
participants,
selamlıyorum.
I greet you all with love
Değerli
and
dostum
respect.
Xi başta olmak
I would
üzere
like to thank my
bu
valuable
önemli
friend
etkinliğe
Xi
ev sahipliği yapan Çin
and
makamlarına
Chinese authorities for hosting
gösterdikleri
such an
misafirperverlik
important
için
event and
özellikle
for
şahsım,
their hospitality.
milletim
I would
teşekkür
like to
ediyorum.
thank you all on behalf
Yeni
of
İpek Yolu olarak da
all citizens
adlandırılan
of Turkey.
bu girişimin
I believe that this initiative,
Avrupa'yı,
also referred to as the New
Afrika'yı
Silk Road, will
hatta
leave its mark
Güney
on the
Amerika'yı
future
birbirine
with its
bağlama
objective of
hedefiyle
connecting Asia,
geleceğe
Europe,
damga
Africa,
vuracağına
and even
inanıyorum.
South America to one another.
Kuşak ve yol güzergahındaki ülkelerin
Increasing infrastructure
altyapı
plans
planlarının
and technical standards of the countries
teknik
on the Belton
standartlarının
route
yükseltilmesi,
will contribute
kıtalar
to the
arası
further development
ölçekte,
of land,
özellikle
maritime, and
karayolu,
airway
deniz
corridors
yolu,
at
hava
the
yolu koridorlarının
intercontinental
geliştirilmesine
level.
katkı sağlayacaktır. Projenin başarısı,
The success of the
güzergah
project is
ülkelerinin
dependent upon
ticareti kolaylaştırmalarına,
trade
gümrük
facilitation,
alanında
collaboration
işbirliğine
in the fields of
gitmelerine,
customs,
tarife dışı
lifting
engelleri kaldırmalarına
non-tariff barriers,
ve yatırımları
and promotion
teşvik
of
etmelerine
investments
bağlı.
by the countries on the
İpek
road.
Yolu fonu yanında
In addition to the
güzergah
Silk Road
ülkelerinin
Fund,
milli
the
fonlarının
inclusion
da
of
devreye
sovereign
alınması,
funds by the countries
projenin
on the route will
finansal
further
entegrasyonunu
deepen the financial
derinleştirecek.
integration of the project.
hükümetler arası işbirliğinin
Moreover,
teşvik edilmesi
encouraging
ise
intergovernmental
siyasi
cooperation will
alanda
allow
güçlü
for a
bir
stronger
dayanışma ikliminin
climate
yeşermesine
of
imkan
solidarity.
tanıyacaktır. Aynı şekilde
Extensive cooperation in
bilim,
the spheres of
teknoloji
tourism,
ve
science,
medya
technology, and
alanlarında
media will
kapsamlı
further
kültürel
increase
işbirliğine
student
gidilmesi,
and
öğrenci
staff
ve
exchange
personel değişiminin yaygınlaştırılması,
and serve
hedeflere
the purpose
ulaşılmasına
of
hizmet
meeting
edecektir.
objectives.
Dünya genelinde 60'tan fazla
The New
ülkeyi
Silk Road
kapsayan
initiative that
yeni
covers
İpek
more
Yolu
than 60
girişimi
countries
yaklaşık
around the globe,
40 milyon
around
kilometre karelik
40
bir
million
alanı
square
ve dünya
kilometers
nüfusunun
and
4,5 milyarını ifade
4.5
eden
billion of
gerçekten de
global
çok
population
önemli bir proje.
is truly a very important
İkili,
project.
çok taraflı ve
Therefore,
bölgesel işbirliklerinden
it's imperative
istifade
that
edecek
this
ülkeler
initiative
için
is based
bu
upon
girişimin kazan
a
kazan
win-win
anlayışıyla
approach
hayata
for the
geçirilmesi
countries that will
büyük
benefit
önem
from
arz ediyor.
bilateral, multilateral,
Siyasi ve
and
ekonomik
regional
alanda
collaborations.
birbiriyle
Establishment
uyumlu
of
bir
a
sistemin
system
tesisi,
that is coherent in the
bölgemizde
spheres of
istikrar
politics and
ve
economy
refah temelli
will pave the
yeni bir
way
dönemin
for a new
kapılarını
era in the region
aralayacaktır.
based on stability
Hızlı
and
kalkınmakta
prosperity.
olan Asya'nın
According to
büyüme,
projections,
yoksullukla
Asia, as a
mücadele,
fast developing region,
iklim
will
değişikliğine karşı
require
gereken
around
tedbirleri alma gibi konular için 2030 yılına kadar
1.7
yılda ortalama
trillion dollars
1,7 trilyon dolar
of
yatırıma
investment until
ihtiyaç duyduğu
2030
hesaplanıyor.
every year for growth,
Bu boyutta
fighting
bir
against
çalışma,
poverty, and
rekabetten
taking relevant
ziyade
measures against
işbirliği
climate
anlayışıyla
change.
hareket
Such
edilmesini
extensive work
gerektiriyor.
requires collaboration
Türkiye olarak
rather than competition.
kurucuları arasında
As
bulunduğumuz
one of its founders,
Asya Altyapı
Turkey
Yatırım Bankası'nda
and Turkey's
2,6
contribution
milyar
of
dolar
capital
sermaye katkı payı
to
ve
the Asia Infrastructure Investment
%2,8
Bank is
oy hakkı ile
2.6 billion
yer
US dollars and
Amacımız
holds a voting right of
hepimizin ihtiyaç duyduğu
2.48%.
kalkınma hamlelerini
Our
yapabilmek
objective
için
is to make
ortak finansman
real the
mekanizmalarının
mechanisms,
hayata geçirilmesidir.
actually
Sayın
the
devlet
common
ve
financing
hükümet
mechanisms to be able to
değerli
take the
katılımcılar,
development steps that we all
Asya
need.
ile
Esteemed heads of
Avrupa
states and
arasındaki
governments, distinguished
ekonomik
participants,
ve
we're living in an
ticari
era
ilişkilerin
in which economic
süratle
and
geliştiği
trade
ve
relations
derinleştiği
between
bir
Asia and
dönemden
Europe
geçiyoruz.
develop fast and
Dünya
deepen.
ekonomisinin ağırlık
The
merkezi
center of gravity
kimilerine göre
of a world economy
senede
is shifting
60,
fast
kimilerine göre
to the
senede
east with a speed
120
of 60
kilometre
kilometers
hızla
for some
doğuya doğru
or
kayıyor.
120 kilometers
Sadece
for
Avrupa
others.
ile Çin arasındaki
The fact that the
ticaret
trade volume
hacmi
between Europe and
600
China
milyar
has
dolara
already
ulaşması
reached
dahi
600 billion
bu
US dollars
değerlendirmeyi teyit ediyor.
and it confirms all of the things that I've said. Turkey is located at the crossroads of Asia and Europe and is one of the leading countries on the Silk Road route with its unique geographical location. China's Silk Road Economic Corridor initiative integrates well with Turkey's Middle Corridor project that aims to connect Europe to Central Asia and to China through Anatolia. As you know, the Common Corridor is a trade route project that starts from Turkey, passing through Georgia, Azerbaijan, the Caspian Sea, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, and finishes in China. Therefore, we would like to work together with China and other countries on the route. The MOU that we signed during the G20 summit in Antalya, together with China in 2015, was an important step taken for bilateral cooperation between countries. We would like the Middle Corridor project to be one of the main and complementary elements of the Belton Road initiative. And we have made progress to this end through various projects implemented in Turkey and the region. The Baku-Tbilisi-Kars railway project will start to operate within a few months, and this will mark the completion of an important part of the project of the Common Corridor. The Caravanserai project developed for customs cooperation aims to ensure a speedy flow of trade and services. The Marmara project that connects Asia and Europe from under the sea, the Yahwah Sultan Selim bridge that became operational on 26 August 2016, the Eurasia tunnel that started to operate on 20 December 2016, the new airport currently under construction in Istanbul, and the Dardanelles bridge, the construction of which recently started, are very important steps. The Zonguldak, Filyos, İzmir, Çandarlı, and Mersin ports are currently being constructed, and these are the important projects that are part of the maritime part of this project. The Edirne-Kars high-speed railway project that covers Turkey from one end to the other is another important project. We will be very happy to materialize this project, this historic project, with our Chinese counterparts, with our Chinese friends, distinguished heads of states and governments, distinguished participants. I believe that there is a win-win project ahead of us that will serve peace and stability. And this means that this will mean the establishment of a new system that is interconnected in the spheres of economy, politics, and culture. This project will contribute to sustainable growth and development and will result in increase in the life standards of our citizens. So this will be the joint success of all. I believe that this cooperation model, which will provide benefits for all, will prove to be successful. And this is going to be the kind of an initiative that will put an end to terrorism. This cooperation as a model will be beneficial for all. And as Turkey, we are happy to give all kinds of support. As I end my words, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to my friend Xi and the friends for this successful forum. I extend my love and respect to one of you once again. Thank you.
感谢埃尔多安总统
Thank you, President Erdogan, for that speech.
土耳其
Turkey
是古丝绸
is an
之路
important country
沿
along the
线的
ancient Silk
重要
Road
国家，和“一带一
and
路
also an ” important
建设国
participant
际合作的
in the international
重要
cooperation
参
on
与
the
者。
pursuit of the Belt and Road
相
Initiative.
信包
I
括
trust that
土耳
through
其
the
在内
concerted
的
efforts of all the
多方
parties, including
共同努力
Turkey,
下
the
一带一路
international
建设
cooperation
的国际合作
on Belt and Road
将不断
Initiative
取得
will
新
continue
的
to
进
score
展。
new progress.
下面
Now let's
让我们热
warmly
烈欢
welcome
迎联合国秘书长
Secretary General of the United
古特雷斯
Nations
致辞。
Guterres to deliver a speech.
Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I feel very grateful and very honored for the opportunity to address all of you at this forum. The world today is at a critical juncture. We face both unprecedented challenges and unique opportunities, with the potential for widely contrasting futures. There is indeed a high level of unpredictability. But in recent decades, the world has made remarkable progress in human development. The proportion of people living in extreme poverty has dropped dramatically. China alone has lifted more than 600 million people out of poverty. Billions of people gained access to drinking water. Millions more are in school. And thanks to major inroads against malaria, tuberculosis, and other deadly diseases, the average people are living longer, healthier lives. Technological innovations have stitched the world together in new webs of commerce, contact, and common endeavor. We also know that millions of people are being left behind. The tide of globalization has yet to lift all boats. For too many, the path to prosperity has proven elusive. Inequalities within and between countries are causing social tensions and sometimes conflict. The planet's ecosystems are degrading at an alarming rate. Climate change became a serious danger. The inability to resolve old conflicts or prevent new ones has caused immense suffering. Terrorism and fragility are on the rise, and trust is on the decline. Trust in governments, in globalization, and in the values that hold us together. Our challenge is to revitalize international cooperation for the common good and build lives of peace and dignity for all. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in human history, the world has at its disposal sufficient resources and advanced technologies to end extreme poverty, to reduce inequalities, and place the planet on a sustainable trajectory. We also have inspiring new strategies agreed by all 2 years ago. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the Paris Agreement on Climate Change, and the Addis Ababa Action Agenda on Financing for Development. Bringing these plans to life requires wide-ranging action, investment, and leadership. And in this context, the Belt and Road Initiative has immense potential. Running through Asia, Europe, and Africa, and extended to the whole world, it is far-reaching in geography and in ambition. For countries yearning to become more integrated with the global economy, it can promote effective access to markets and new opportunities. And while the Belt and Road Initiative and the 2030 Agenda are different in their nature and scope, both have sustainable development at the overarching objective. Both strive to create opportunities, global public goods, and win-win cooperation. And both aim to deepen connectivity across countries and regions, connectivity in infrastructure, trade, finance, policies, and perhaps most important for all, among peoples. In order for the participating countries along the Belt and Road to fully benefit from the potential of enhanced connectivity, it is crucial to strengthen the links between the initiative and the Sustainable Development Goals. Those 17 goals can guide the policies and actions under the Belt and Road towards true sustainable development. And as projects under the initiative unfold, let us work together to uphold relevant international environmental and social standards and to ensure that the benefits reach beyond cities into rural areas. With the initiative expected to generate vast investments in infrastructure, let us seize the momentum to help countries make the transition to clean energy, low-carbon pathways, instead of locking in unsustainable practices for decades to come. Chinese leadership on climate change will continue to be pivotal. And as the Belt and Road attracts public and private funding, let us recognize that countries will still need official development assistance. And I urge donors to fulfill their long-standing commitments, namely in the context of Addis Ababa Agreement. And just as the initiative opens new corridors for goods, let us also keep open the channels for dialogue, so that any possible tensions among the countries touched by this undertaking can give way to mutual benefit. The Belt and Road Initiative is rooted in a shared vision for global development. And indeed, China became a central pillar of multilateralism. China played a key role in shaping the 2030 Agenda and in making possible the adoption of the Paris Agreement, two of the past decades' signal achievements in international diplomacy. And China has also launched several major initiatives, from the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank to its increased support in United Nations peacekeeping and to a combination of new funds aiming at fostering both peace and prosperity. The wide-ranging engagement of China is more necessary than ever today. Our world is multipolar, but that by itself is no guarantee of prosperity and peace. A multipolar world needs multilateral cooperation and multilateral governance to face common threats and to seize shared opportunities. The Belt and Road Initiative has clear echoes of the ancient Silk Road. Today, we must take that spirit to new heights for the benefit of all. As the Chinese saying goes, building the road is the first step towards prosperity. The United Nations system stands ready to travel this road, and you, in order to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals and to fulfill our promise to leave no one behind. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary General Guterres, for that speech. The building of the Belton Road will be conducive to the implementation of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. We look to the United Nations to continue to support and participate in the international cooperation on the Belton Road Initiative. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, after the opening ceremony, we will have the plenary session of the high-level dialogue to be followed by the thematic sessions in the afternoon. I hope the participants will seize the opportunity to exchange ideas, build consensus, promote cooperation, and work together to bring about an even brighter future in the building of the Belt and Road Initiative. Well, that brings us to the end of the opening ceremony. Thank you.